Hi everyone, and welcome to Bygone Traditions. Today I'm going to take you on a little garden tour, and I'm going to show you how I take care of my tomatoes. So the garden is looking beautiful today. Things are sprouting and everything is going really well. I have my sunflower here, and my okra is doing really good with the two sunflowers next to it, which I may have to pick those, I don't know. And my other sunflower, calendula. Here's my loofah and my marigold, and then more okra. The stevia is doing really well. They transplanted nicely. I'm really excited about that. And I have my zucchini, which is growing super fast. I'm gonna have to put a stake in the ground. I'm gonna do a pole method with my zucchini. There's my other zucchini. Let's walk this way. I harvested all of my carrots out of here. I harvested 3 pounds of carrots out of here. Now you notice I have 2 more stalks there. I'm gonna let those go to seed and harvest the seed from those. And then my peas are doing nicely. Hopefully it's gonna be really hot this week, and so I'm hoping they do okay and don't die on me. My lettuce has grown quite a bit. I need to do a little weeding in here, but it's doing really well. My beans have all sprouted, and my peppers are doing really well. I think I even had a baby pepper on here. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, look at that. So I have a little baby pepper growing, which, oh, it looks like it's gotten damaged. So we'll just pick that off. But I've got more here. My eggplants are doing well, and I've got all these beans over here. All my peppers, and my melons have all sprouted. These are honeydew. Let's see, and then my nasturtium. Let's see, let's go over here. And my tomato plants are looking wonderful. And then I've got my Kajari melons on the other side of this fence here. So there's a Kajari melon. And I'll just trellis them up, the trellis that's in between these 2 beds, if you can see that. My carrots are growing really well over here. They should do really, really well. And then I've got more tomatoes down this way, and they've gotten real tall. The rain has been so good for them. And my strawberries are starting to turn red. For the first year of strawberries for these berries, they're doing really well. I'm just really excited about the way these are looking in this green stalk. They're doing really well in here. I've only had issues with birds. I haven't had any issues with any other pests, which is great. So I'm enjoying growing these strawberries in the green stalk. They are probably, so far, my favorite thing I've grown in here. All my plants are doing really well. The yarrow looks great, and so does the hyssop. Tony. And then I have my oregano, which just looks beautiful in here. And my basil is all sprouted. So I've got that and that. And then I've got my other basil over here. And I do need to thin these out. And then the sage has sprouted. And my rosemary. So this, I didn't know if it was going to come back. Because it looked dead, but it looks good. I need to pick out this oregano so it doesn't crowd the rosemary. And my chamomile is just going crazy. And look at my little Brussels sprouts. Let's see if you can see that. That's exciting. All my mustard is getting really big, and it looks really great. And then my broccoli is growing okay. I do have a little bit of pest pressure here, so I am going to be spraying that with neem oil tonight. This little kale looks terrible, but I have a window on my house that reflects the sun really bad right into this spot. So I think that it's burning my kale. My other honeydew is doing really well. And if you come over here, I have these watermelons here. These are the Wilson Sweets, and they are doing fantastic. And then I have my other watermelon, the sugar babies, and look at, they're all doing so good. It's probably about time to thin them out. And then all my other carrots over here are getting real big. You can see those. So today, I do want to talk to you about how to care for your tomatoes once they start getting bigger. So I'm going to talk to you about how to prune your tomatoes and how to tie them off on the fence. So I've got this tomato plant here. Now it is almost tall enough to be tied to this, but I'm going to let it get a little bit taller, so maybe it's up here. And then I will start tying it to this trellis. But all the leaves and stems below this, I am going to just pinch off, because I want it to focus on all the things above here, and it keeps backsplash from spraying onto the leaves. So you want it about 18 inches off the ground. You don't want any leaves 18 inches from the ground. And this is about 18 inches, so I'll probably let the rest of these grow. Now I have 2 leaders here, which is really good, so I can get more yield out of this, so I will let it go up the trellis like that. I could probably attach this right here. My mom got me these cool little clips to attach the tomatoes to the trellis, which I'm really excited to use. I usually use a floral tape to attach these because it's stretchy and it doesn't hurt the stem of the tomato. These are pretty springy, but they open up pretty easily, so they don't hurt the tomato either. So far I have noticed had good results with these. So another thing you want to do when you pinch off things on your tomatoes is you have these tomato suckers. Now let's see if I can find one here. Here we go. So if you look here in this tomato, you'll see in between the arm of the tomato and the stem, the main stem. So here's this is the main stem, right? And you come up along the main stem, and this part is also part of the main stem, and then this is a arm that comes off the main stem. Well, in between the arm and the trunk of the tomato, the main stem of the tomato, there's like a little armpit. Sometimes you'll get stems that grow out of that little armpit part. You just want to pinch that off. See? Take it right off. Because you want it to focus its growth in the right direction. And if it's focusing too much growth on the little suckers, then it takes away from its growth of the tomatoes and the direction you want it to grow. Now this one also has stems that need to be pinched off. So like this is too low, so I just pinch that off. And this one right here is too low, and you can just pinch that off. Now I just use my nails to pinch that off, but it's probably better to use scissors so that you don't damage your tomato plant. I'm just lazy because I don't have my scissors out here right now. But that's how you want to prune your tomatoes. As they grow, you'll want to continue pruning them like that, and tying them off to the trellis as they get taller. Here's a better example of the sucker in the armpit of the plant. So here we have the main stem, then we have the little arm coming off, and here's the armpit with the little sucker here. And just kind of pinch that off. There's another one on this plant here. You can see that, so I'm going to pinch that one off as well. See if there's any more. This looks fine now. Yeah, and this one's growing nicely. These are my cherry tomatoes, so I've had to prop this up. This one also has a sucker there, and right now, because I want them to get a little bit taller, I am going to prune off the blossoms and let that grow a little bit more before it starts setting fruit. It's doing really well though. It's loving this heat right now. So just to do a quick recap, you want to prune the suckers off your tomato plant to promote healthy growth and to promote fruiting and growing your tomatoes properly so it's not putting energy towards those suckers. And you also want to start tying your tomato plants onto your trellis as soon as they get tall enough, and pruning off any leaves that are under the 18-inch height to keep water spray from getting onto your tomatoes. When water gets onto your tomatoes, it can cause powdery mildew and different fungal problems that you don't really want on your tomato plants, because once they get certain diseases, you got to rip them out and get rid of them, or else they just won't produce good fruit for you. I am going to be spraying this with neem oil tonight. It looks like I have a little bit of pest pressure on some of my plants, and so I am going to spray that on there, and maybe spray the surrounding soil so it has the evening to work its magic. And then hopefully it doesn't rain for the next couple of days, and then I'll probably do that about once a week. I bought an neem oil in concentrated form, and I add an ounce of that to a gallon of water, and I use a weed sprayer that you would get from like a hardware store like Lowe's, and I make sure that it hasn't ever had any chemicals in it so that I can keep it organic and not get that on my plants. And that really does help with the pest pressure. I have used it once already and I've seen a good decline in it. You want to use it in the evening because the good bugs come out during the day, and in the evenings usually when the bad bugs come out and start munching on your plants, and so you get the bad bugs out munching on the plants, and that gets rid of the bad bugs without hurting the beneficial insects. So that is my goal. I do not want to harm the pollinators. I love having the pollinators here. I just don't like the bad insects because they do harm my plants pretty substantially where we're at. The green stalks are great because it keeps everything off the ground, and I don't have as much problem with pests with those. The only issue I have had is with birds, and so I am trying to mitigate that. Yeah, it's like they wait for me to leave the garden and then they're like free for all. So trying to figure out how to do that because my dog's not real great at getting rid of the birds, and my cat is lazy. So, and I don't want the cat eating the birds. I just want to scare the birds away. So, but that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, that it was informative for you, and I taught you something that you didn't know. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.